The Top Gun champions in complete control. 4 lengths in front. Clear to Super Zoom Jake, then Nick's Bale, but Shimmer Shine's going to shine brightly tonight, and he's into the Melbourne Cup. Lucy's Milo had the lead, but Jim Zardashian breaking into the clear. Jim Zardashian hit the lead, coming back Lucy's Milo. Aussie Secret hit the lead. Mr. Fix-It's in for the fight. They'll turn together. Tough Tears lifting at them. Tough Tears over the top. And Tigalong Tonk, the shootout winners, out and running. 5 lengths to Immunity. 6 away, Arizona Eyes starting to power home. And then Gypsy's Elder. Tigalong Tonk turned the leader. He's 3 lengths to Arizona Eyes and Immunity. And Tigalong Tonk's going to romp into the Melbourne Cup. The headline act of the Melbourne Cup. Simon Told Helen's 8 lengths in front to Sweet Demi. And then Faithy Bale. But the Roman Nose Jet is going to belt them here. But the WA star Tommy Shelby sprinted for home. 3 lengths to Short Pork. And it is all Tommy Shelby, a blistering win. Hard Style Rico turned up the heat and put 5 on Gladioli Bale. Then taken Mapunga Maggie and Stardom, but it's a one-act affair. It is all Hard Style Rico, and he's going to bolt into the Melbourne Cup. Off the back and Zipping Sullivan the leader. 3 lengths in front to Do It, who's honing in. And then Providence Bale. Do It goes to Zipping Sullivan, who kicks.
Welcome to episode 2 of Box Rise, coming to you from the Bendigo Greyhound Racing Association. And we saw then the 8 heats of the Melbourne Cup that were run last week. One of the best nights racing you'll ever see with the 8 heats of the Melbourne Cup, as well as the 3 heats of the Bold Trease, and an even better night's racing this Friday night coming up at Sandown, as those 2 classic Group 1 finals are run, and 2 outstanding editions of both of those long time wonderful races to be run at Sandown. But we'll catch up with the Sandown information a little bit later in the show. Firstly, we'll get into the local winners that we left off last week, a little bit too late, but had the local winners this week. And this week we've actually got 2 pages worth of a very successful week for local trainers, with 25 winners coming from the local area. We had Barry Anderson with Burrell and Ray at Bendigo, at least not with East Special Echo and East Special 1, getting a double here last week. Craig Webby also at the same meeting with Aston Cinnamon. Wendy Seymour went to Ballarat and won with Irene's a Star. Josh Formosa with Dazzling Dippy at Shepparton. Mark Johnson winning double at Shepparton with Crown Jimmy and Creator Scene. We had Brian Brown winning with Silver Compass, and Peter Small with Gallant Toby also at Shepparton. Rod Clark got a double here last Friday with Sunny Days and Oriental Amber. Daniel Pell with Desiree DeVere and Mark Johnson with Northern Zone, also successful on the same card. Belinda Harley with Agent Levi winning at Geelong. You think I'd know that surname, wouldn't you? Ray Hennis with Muttley winning at Horsham, as well as Craig Webb with Aston Riker on the same race meeting. Brian Brown won at Ballarat with Going Viral. Jai Formosa with Kinloch Journey at Cranbourne. Aaron Di Battista a double at Shepparton with Snack Attack and Visualizer. Bev Pell at Horsham with Strike the Pose. Rod Clark at Horsham with Husky Flyer. Mark Strong with Bremer Prince at Horsham. And Brian Brown, another winner at Horsham with Horizon Princess. So the Bendigo locals did very, very well as far as the Horsham race meeting went yesterday, as they do most weeks, and 25 winners for the local trainers last week. So congratulations to them. A little bit of BGRA news. As we know, the 2020 Ready to Race sale was postponed due to COVID. We've been looking at how to run that Ready to Race auction series in the early of the new year, and it's come to the decision that we've added the Ready to Race series to the already very successful Gold Rush Carnival at Easter. So a very busy period of 9 days of grand activity in 14 days for the club, with the Ready to Race auction to take place on Monday, March 22 and Saturday, March 27, as well as the normal 7 race meetings of the Gold Rush Carnival on March 25, 26, 28, 31 and April 1, 3 and 4. So an outstanding couple of weeks there for the Gold Rush Carnival, now having the Ready to Race auction as well. Got a very good feeling about having 2 Ready to Race auctions during the year. We'll also have the regular one in November of next year, and I would think that if all things going well, the Easter auction will maybe a permanent fixture, and the Gold Rush Carnival will continue to grow with that Ready to Race auction. So looking forward to that. For further details, you can get to the club's website or Facebook page in terms of the eligibility and other important dates, but it's great to be able to put the Ready to Race auction series back on and combine it with our time-honoured Gold Rush Carnival, which has been going now since 2005. As we said at the top of the show, the main events this week is all eyes on Sandown with the Melbourne Cup and their wonderful program of racing. 7 feature races, $1 million worth of prize money on offer. But off the track, there's been a very good promotion as well done by the Sandown Greyhound Racing Club, and hats off to Adrian Scott and his marketing team for the community club sweep. All the Greyhound Country clubs were allocated greyhounds for the heats, and were given those by random draw to some smaller country clubs and local clubs in each area. And the Bendigo Greyhound Racing Association was lucky to have Shimmer Shine allocated to the Bendigo City Bulldogs Sports Club, and it's appropriate with Shimmer Shine, who started favourite in our Bendigo Cup, is also the current Bendigo track record holder. And we caught up a little bit earlier on with the founder of the Bendigo City Bulldogs Sports Club, that is Bryan Coghlan from Triple M in Bendigo. Well, the big night of racing at Sandown on Friday night, the Melbourne Cup, the $1 million worth of racing on Melbourne Cup night. One new initiative from Sandown Greyhound Racing Club was the Community Club Sweep to involve all the 11 regional race clubs across country Victoria and Greyhound Racing Victoria. And each of us race clubs were allocated a few greyhounds in the series by ballot, and we're giving them to our community sports clubs. And one lucky community sports club from Bendigo is the newly formed Bendigo City Bulldogs Sports Club, and they've drawn quite appropriately the Bendigo track record holder Shimmer Shine. Of course, he was very impressive in winning heat number 1 of the Melbourne Cup last week. And we've got the founder of that sports club, also the Triple M breakfast host, who has made a couple of slip-ups lately on radio. I've just got to put that out there. But Bryan Coghlan, Shimmer Shine, how are we going to go on Friday night, mate?
Mate, seriously, our boys at Bendigo City Bulldogs, I think it's like a bit of a fog. It's just sunk in that we've got this great runner in the Melbourne Cup and everyone's stoked. And yeah, they've just learnt the name and they're starting to get the, punch in the air. But look, we're wrapped, mate. It's great to be in it. It's been fabulous banner and everybody's talking about it, which is what it's all about, I think. We're lucky to be on a dog that's going to, I think, go very well. Fingers crossed anyway.
It's a wonderful initiative from the Sandown Club. I think something that a few of the other clubs will probably look at running in very similar formats. And obviously, opportunity for a sports club and a country sports club to win $5,000, as well as obviously get people, non-Greyhound people, involved and aware that the Melbourne Cup is on. So it's been a pretty good promotion.
Yeah, look, it has. I think the other good thing is the social media aspect as well, because at the end of the day, we're the ones pushing the dog. To be honest with you, we don't even care about the other dogs, only Shimmer Shine, because he'll be first. He or she, by the way?
He, yep.
He, got it right. But again, just that and just getting it out there. What a great initiative to get things going. It's hard enough on social media to find, people to find you, but to do that and to share it. As I said, we've had a big weekend. I've had a bit of fun with a few videos and that, and everyone I asked to do a little video for me did. And probably if I had more time, we could have got a lot more done. But certainly we're loving it, mate. And just a bonus if we can get something out of Friday night. It's just been good fun.
And maybe a bit of history on the Bendigo City Bulldog Sports Club.
Yeah, look, we tried to get a game last year, and I think it was a 2020 involved a bloke called Paul Campbell and Troy Harley, and we thought, geez, we did all right that day. We might form a club, and those two blokes did a runner once I started to talk about it, something about harness racing and grounds. Anyway, long story short, mental health. A lot of people come and said, I'd love to play again. I was not keen on the every Saturday thing because it's a commitment. But what I found is that people have just come out of the woodwork, and probably, as you do, most people put their hand up and say, hey, I'm keen. You might have a 10% drop off, but I think there's about 20 players on our list, and every week we've got 12 or 13, so we rotate. But it's just been great. First season, toe in the water. Probably have two sides next year, but we're looking to do a few other things, other sports. We've got a tennis day lined up and a lawn bowls day as well. And all we're doing is basically raising money so that people can come along on a night and just enjoy themselves. Don't pay, just get along, have a bit of fun, talk to a few other people, and it's just like getting people out of their comfort zone. And you guys know what it's like. You're a good sportsman in your day. Troy, you know what it's like. Once you're retired, you're a long time retired, but if you can just get back into it, and our guys are loving the spike every week. Hey, this Saturday we play such and such and whatever. It's just been great.
Yeah, it's a wonderful concept, a wonderful reason to form a sports club, and obviously going to be a multi-sports club. And mate, fingers crossed if Shimmer Shine can put $5,000 in the bank, it certainly goes towards growing that sports club. And I know that Sandown Greyhound Club and Greyhound Clubs Victoria are very appreciative of the promotion you've done on your social media, and we'll certainly be doing the same for your sports club, as well as the other 5 sports clubs that participated for Bendigo. I think we were in 3 seconds at one stage during the series, so we're a bit unlucky not to get more than just the one. But Shimmer Shine for the Bendigo City Bulldogs Sports Club. Coggo, thanks very much for your support, and good luck on Friday night.
Go Shimmer Shine.
Good luck to Coggo and the Bendigo City Bulldogs boys, as well as all the other 7 community clubs that will certainly be cheering on their respective grounds. And we said a wonderful promotion there from the Sandown Greyhound Racing Club, and hats off to the team there and those that certainly pulled that promotion together. And no doubt there'll be many more similar promotions go forward with those wonderful episodes and escapades there. As we said, the big night is Melbourne Cup night, Friday night, I should say. One of the big form students of greyhound racing in Victoria these days, and you'll hear him on Sky Channel, I would guess on Friday night, is Jason Adams, that works for the Sandown Greyhound Racing Club, and we caught up with him to get his views on the 7 feature races of Melbourne Cup night a little bit earlier on. Friday night is one of Australia's, if not the world's, biggest greyhound race meetings, the TAB Melbourne Cup, and there are a host of feature races to go through the form and catch up on. And to do that is one of greyhound racing's most recognised form analysts in Jason Adams. Jason, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Troy, and you're spot on. It's a fantastic night of racing. We went through what was an amazing night last Friday with the heats. It just doesn't get any better than that. And now to have the final in front of us with a ripping support card, it just could be much better. It really is Christmas.
I mean, we're looking at what a race night of offering nearly $1 million in prize money these days as well.
It is, yeah. So throughout the whole card, there's $1 million on offer in prize money throughout. That's including all the bonuses for the breeding bonuses and whatnot. So it's a real statement for the sport, I think, to have $1 million on offer throughout the whole night. We know there's already a $1 million chase up there in Sydney, but from a Victorian point of view, this is our signature night.
Well, mate, it covers a host of grades and quality of greyhounds, and we'll certainly start and look at those now. We'll start with the first of the feature races, which is race number 2 on the card. This is the GRV Vic Bred Maiden Series, and some outstanding stars of the future. Regardless of what wins this race, we should be black booking all 8 finalists at least, I reckon.
You're spot on, and going through it last night, I thought the same way, where it's hard to work out how this race is going to play out, but you're right. One thing is clear, that so many of these you're going to look back on in 12 months' time or reflect on the field that was 12 months ago and think, wow, there's been some really good runs come out of this. So this one is no exception.
Mate, what did you settle on for the $15,000 winner maiden final?
Well, I'm with the red in Major Sacrifice, and look, you can go with Mapunga Reject if you want the fastest greyhound in the field, but for my experience in maiden finals, it never really works out the plan to what you expect on the ability they've actually got. So I went with the red just because I thought he showed some really good box speed on Sunday. What was his second career start? It's just the way that he handled himself. He got down at the right time. He just timed the start perfectly. And we know in maiden finals, anything can happen. So the best place to be is out in front. So I'm hoping that's what he can do from the draw.
Very good, mate. Your numbers there were 1, 5, 7 and 6. I'm a little shining towards Shimmer Jake, only because his dam line has just currently come on season at home, and I know they've got a Bernardo straw about to go into her, so fingers crossed for Sharon Stanton, the owner, and obviously for Dave Gleeson for Shimmer Jake. But as we said, an outstanding field in the maiden final, which is race number 2. Race 3 on the card at 7:08 p.m, the $10,000 winner Super Vic Grey's final. You talk about breeders' bonuses, $11,000 worth of breeders' bonuses on this race as well. A very tricky race with some very promising youngsters engaged, mate.
It is. We saw the heats on Sunday, and you're right, this is one we look back on in a few months' time and think that was a really good field, and none other made more of a statement than Macaulay's Lad, and we've known how good he's been for the past month with some ripping performances, and this is his sort of first crack at a big feature. I know you know him well, Troy. Went through the Bendigo Maiden Series down there and certainly made his presence felt. Yeah,
he did, mate. I think 2 years ago, Black Opium did pretty much post at the same time through the same series, and 7 or 8 starts later was runner-up in the Melbourne Cup, and Macaulay's Lad's taken a slightly different path with Anthony as a party, but he's an outstanding greyhound, and as his brother Bearing and a couple of the others in the race, but I think Macaulay's Lad is the runner. What did you think?
Yeah, I had to have him on top. I just thought from a talent point of view, he's head and shoulders above most of them. The other one that I didn't mind as well was number 6, Hadouken. And look, he was running every single week at the Meadows and running around that sort of time of 30 and 30, which is just okay. And I thought to myself, he's just got to improve. And if he does, he's going to win a lot more races quickly. He's done that in his past couple. He's improved significantly. So I think he's the main danger. But I had Macaulay's Lad on top. Look, his form speaks for itself. A number of times he's gone really fast here at Sandown. So if he gets any sort of clear air early on, he's going to be the one to beat in that one.
Mate, race 4 is a $25,000 to win a provincial plate, where the heats were run in some of the regional tracks in the last week or two, which is race number 4, as we said. How did you see this race? A very tricky affair.
It's a tricky affair, and not because there's any sort of lack of depth in the field, but you're trying to match up form from different country tracks and match it all up in one race here. On a 2-turn track at Sandown Park. I went with number 3, William Rose, and he was just brilliant at sailing his last start. They don't go much quicker than 29.11, which is what he sets. He was absolutely terrific. The only query I had was he hasn't had a lot of starts here at Sandown for a team that quite often races here. So not sure why that is, but he's just racing in free-for-alls consistently down Gippsland area. So look, to me, he's got plenty of talent outside of him. Pabby Go Fast from box number 8. He looks to be one that's got just faultless speed. There's no doubt at all he's going to be showing that from the wide draw. But I thought William Rose especially given that last start win at Sale, which was just tremendous.
I think the question mark is whether Papio Go Fast can run 500 metres. I've got no doubt he's the leader, named after the Melbourne Storm flying machine Ryan Pappenhausen. And Ryan likes a punt, got a few dogs, so no doubt he'll be tuned in to watch the provincial plate. But as you said, William Rose at Sale was outstanding, and Papio Go Fast are likely leaders. So it's a matter of how close, I guess, William Rose gets to Papio Go Fast.
It is, and look, you can bring others into play, the likes of Mapunga Missile, who was tremendous at Geelong last Friday. It was just over 2 lengths off the track record, so he couldn't have done much more, but he gets an unfavourable draw here in box number 5. So a wide open field. Again, it's hard to line up, but in terms of who I'm leaning towards, it's number 3, William Rose.
Mate, race 5 is the major staying race of the carnival, and the second major staying race, I guess, of the year behind the Sandown Cup, and that's the Bold Trease, worth $105,000 to winner in the Group 1 race. Houdini boy, he's the question mark dog, I guess, in terms of where he gets in the race and how he gets the trip. But he's no doubt he's going to be the favourite in the punters elect. Is he your elect as well?
He is. I don't agree with the price he is. I think he'll get out the closer it gets to the jump. But look, I just love what he's all about, and there has been some suggestion that he might not back up as well this time around, given it is his second try over 700 metres this campaign. But to me, he's not a high-speed type who's going to gas himself and not be able to back up. We've seen him an absolute powerhouse over 600 metres. So I think, if anything, we're going to see, at worst, the same performance he put together last week. And you're right, the question mark is, where is he going to settle? Because we're so used to him over 600 metres, getting back in the field and running on so hard, where last week he took over control quite early on. So is it that extra run that he gets to the first turn where he can build up a bit more speed, settle in a better position? Who knows? But look, he's a beast. There's no doubt about that. But this isn't clear cut for him. It's a strong field. Troy, you read it in a fairly similar way.
Yeah, I do, mate. You got your proven performers, your Sweet As M's and your Blazing Cartiers certainly are going to put plenty of pressure on Houdini boy. He doesn't want to make many mistakes. As we say, we don't want to probably find him in front too early, but there's no doubt he's a class runner. But as you said, the price at the moment is probably a bit of unders. If you can add half a point to that, well, he's probably at his right price, and he's the one to beat, I think.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And look, the thing I love most about this Bold Trease final is there's a high range of skills where you've got Sweet As M is going to be highballing out in front. Blazing Cartier shows some speed. Manila Knight from box 8 is going to be showing a stack of that as well. Then you've got the other side of the fence where you got your high strength, the likes of Sunset Birdski, He Shall Power. Elias Bale is a big price that you never rule out, and Sir Trucklin as well. So it's a race where I think they're probably going to see a long gap early on between first and last, but as they cross the post for the final time, it's going to be a really good finish.
I think it'll be one of your traditional entertaining staying races as opposed to the jump and run and put paid in what we see in recent years. Mate, these two races, the main races there early in the night, obviously because of the free-to-air coverage. So race 6 is the Tab Melbourne Cup, normally traditionally race number 8. We said $435,000 to win up a Group 1 final. I don't think I've seen a better Melbourne Cup. Obviously, I'm slightly older than you, but not as old as some of the others that continue to say the same thing as what we're saying depth-wise. It's as good a Melbourne Cup as you could possibly see.
Yeah, it's got to be. And look, it's one thing for me who's had a handful of years in the sport to say this is the best field that I've seen. But you're right, you speak to people who have been around for decades and they say much of the same thing. You know, when we come into these big feature series anywhere in the country at any time of the year, you want the big guns to get through because it obviously equates in the best possible field. And tell you what, it's not far off what we've got ahead of us on Friday night. It's just stunning. The likes of Simon Salthallen, and I mean, leading up to last week, Troy, for me, I just didn't feel it was going to be right to have a Melbourne Cup without Simon Salthallen. So I'm happy that he's through. But look, he seems to come up with a nice draw in box 2, but look, out wide, there's no greyhound can make a mistake because the depth is just sensational.
It's incredible. You look at, as you say, Simon Salthallen. He's been the number 1 dog for the last 12 or 14 months since a great chase last year, and deservedly has that title. But you've got Hardstyle Rico, who's made countless big race finals and also won a couple of them. You've got Shimmer Shine, who's broke a couple of track records and now a Top Gun winner as well. Tigalong Tonka's performed at the top grade for probably nearly 2 years now. Yeah, they're just an outstanding lineup, and then you get the up-and-comers, I guess, with your less experience in these types of races, like your Tough Tiers, and obviously the West Australian Tommy Shelby. We keep forgetting about him. He probably hasn't been mentioned in that top 4 or 5 at the moment, but he's an absolute star as well. So it's just talent across the board. How did you see it, mate? I know your Twitter feed for Sandown showed the head-on and the tenacity that Simon Salthallen's shown in his heat. He doesn't have to work quite as hard to get across from box number 2. Is that going to help him?
I think for sure. And I mean, if we're comparing the numbers of these sort of greyhounds in terms of what times they can set, you're splitting hairs. There's not heaps between them. So you've got to look deeper than that. You've got to look at where they're going to be on the track coming past the post the first time. And for mine, Simon Helen, he's going to have that track position, because if you do have all those greyhounds going around, you're 5 flat, 5:05 in their time to the first split. Something's got to give, and Simon Helen's going to have track position. He mentioned that head-on vision as well that we saw last week. That's a quality that he's got that's not listed in the form guide. He's a beast. He'll push through a brick wall, and if there's some sort of gap, we know he's just going to pour the pressure on. So if he gets away cleanly, that's all he has to do. He'll accelerate after that. So I'm with him just purely on the track position. I had Hardstyle Rico for second. I think he's drawn really well in 5. I know he's going to have a lot of pressure from his outside, but the initial first couple of strides, he's got Lucy's Milo and Tough Tears on his inner, who, if anything, are only going to go towards the fence. So it opens up a bit of room for Rico early on. Had Shimmer Shine for third, and it looks difficult, but you couldn't rule him out. You just can't on the things that he can do. And maybe after winning the Top Gun, we've seen a number of stars in the past that they've struggled to pick up a group race win. Once they have, it's snowballed after that. So maybe that could be the case for Shimmer Shine. And Tigalong Tonk for 4th, who I've got no knocks against him. He's a star, as we know, Troy. But I just think, again, if they're all running that same sort of time to the first split, something's got to give. He's got to cross him. And there's so much on his inside to deal with. So look, I'm with Simon Helen in what would be, it really make him immortal, really, for the year he's had to bypass or to go past the $1 million in prize money. It'd make him into an extremely, extremely good greyhound, into one of the best we've ever seen.
Yeah, he'd be certainly be in rare territory. I think Hardstyle Rico holds the key to the race. Just if he hits the lids running, he could certainly change the way the race sort of pans out, I guess, in the run of the first turn, and make a little bit more pressure for Simon Helen. But if Hardstyle Rico just dwells that fraction, I think Simon Helen is drawn to hold the front, and his mid-race pace is just probably too much. But I think anyone wanting to have a bet in the race that likes any of the 8 runners, certainly don't let me or you turn them off, because it's just one of those races, the way they're drawn. But I'm a little bit with you, mate. I think Simon Helen, just from the box draw, I like Shimmer Shine, just to get a bit of a card across using Hardstyle Rico. I've got him in for second, and then from Tigalong Tonk third, and Hardstyle Rico and Tommy Shell be one of those to fill 4th and 5th spot. But anything can win the race, and whatever wins the race will certainly be deserving, having gone through such depth last week in the heat, and obviously such a quality final. And that's on Friday night at 8:10 as race number 6. Race number 7 is the Sir John Dillon Memorial, Group 3 event over the 595 metres, worth $25,000 to the winner. Christo Bale, you can't fault his form since going back to the sprints. Are you with him back up to the middle distance?
I am. I'm leaning towards him, and this field is out of control. I mean, you look at race 9, which is just a normal mixed 4-5 over the same distance, and to think that's a set of 8 that missed out on this, you think, then what on earth does this field look like? And you have a look, and it's just absolutely stacked with quality. But I'm with Christo Bale, and you're right, since he's dropped back to the sprint distance, he's just been caught up a little bit. But when you're competing against the best sprinters that are going around, not only here in Melbourne, but across Australia, you're always going to find it a bit tough no matter who you are. But for him now, step back up to 600 metres, where typically the pressure is a bit more lenient early on, I wouldn't be surprised if he was the lead. And as Christo Bale, if he leads, good luck to him. But there's some serious opposition he does find himself up against. Last Sarah's going to show speed from 6. Also had Weblek Ace included for 3rd from box 1. He's just a beast, and he's shown that in his past 2 over the sprint. And I also had Zipping Bram, who, look, arguably could be the quickest of this whole lot, but his habits in racing aren't as attractive compared to those. But I'm with Christo. Troy, how do you read it?
Yeah, I think Christo's the class run of the race, and I've got Christo Bale on top. And the big question mark, Zipping Bram. We know how strong he is and how good he is, and just a matter of where he gets behind those leading greyhounds. But I think Christo Bale, just for the class, with Zipping Bram to be charging home late, and whatever fills the minors, fills the minors. As you say, you're talking about a mixed 4-5 in race number 9, and you got a Group 1 winner in Get a Gizmo, who hasn't got a Guernsey in a Group 3 race. It just shows what a quality meeting this is, mate. And the last of the feature races is race number 8, the RSN Cup Night Sprint, $25,000 to the winner group race. Bit of speed drawn on the inside here. Myself on with Music Event and the greyhound that broke its maiden here in the Gold Rush Series, or the deferred Gold Rush Series in June. But again, a race of high talent, and you've got a couple of greyhounds here that were a bit unlucky in Melbourne Cup heats as well.
There were plenty, and it's always seen as a sort of consolation for the Melbourne Cup, but it's not actually greater that way. Of course, it's the best day, so the best field that turns up, that's what gets put together in this one. And I think we're going to see a lot of room towards the inside. We've got numbers 3 and 4 in Indigo Turbo, and also Junk Food Junkie. We've got plenty of speed. and they want to be in that middle part of the track. So I think you're on the money there in liking Music Event. In terms of who I went with Short Pork, and I couldn't really split those two on the inside, apart from Short Pork having that track position on his inside. But Music Event, clearly a bit of a beast. If you look towards the outer, you've got Mr. Fix-It, who we know is one of the more emerging, promising young pups here in Victoria. He's got some terrific box speed that he's shown in some good company recently, so he's not out of place there. And Do It I had for fourth, who I don't see how he's going to get a clear run, but he's been mammoth in his past 2 starts. That's why I've included him, Troy. But look, yet another good race, and so it should be on the night it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Just those greyhounds you mentioned there, Mr. Fix-It and Do It, watching the Sandown Melbourne Cup heat replays, their runs were much better than what they looked as well in very good races. So, an outstanding race night, mate, right through from races 1 through to 12 will be tuned in on Friday night. We certainly wish yourself and Mick Floyd and, of course, Adrian Scott and Brownie and the crew all the best for a wonderful Melbourne Cup night, and congratulations to Greyhound Racing Victoria for this Metropolitan Festival of Racing that kicked off at the Meadows 4 or 5 weeks ago now and is considered right through to the culmination here on Melbourne Cup night. $1 million worth of prize money at Sandown on Friday night. Thanks for your time, mate, and good luck on Friday night.
No worries, thanks, Troy. It's a real privilege to be a part of it, and of course join you here this afternoon.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Looking forward to a wonderful night of racing on Friday night at Sandown. As we said in that interview then, that because of the free-to-air coverage, the feature races are races 5 and 6, a little bit earlier than normal. We can certainly catch all that racing action both on free-to-air as well as Sky Channel, and of course the new Watchdog app, which is your home of greyhound racing in Victoria. To finish the show, we'll get our best bets for the race meeting this week. Of course, Friday's meeting has been transferred to Thursday night, and I've gone for race 6, number 1, Disco Riot, and in race 8, number 1, Perfect Colour. Hopefully we can get a double like we did last week. You certainly won't get rich on it, but it is better than bank interest, particularly these days. To close out the show, we thank you for joining us, and we're just going to throw to a replay of BGRA's local trainers' run of the week. This week, the run of the week was the Rod Clark-trained Oriental Amber, who clocked some sizzling sections on way to an impressive victory here last Friday afternoon.
And racing slowest away is Knucklebuster, the outsider, back in last, and Oriental Amber and Mr. Bob, the first two out, with Oriental Amber about a length clear. Mr. Bob knuckling down the outside. They've raced clear over Mod Squad. Then came Mackay Bluey. Further back, then Charmed, Esme and Knucklebuster back in last, but Oriental Amber's kicked away by 3 in the straight. Mr. Bob tries hard from Mod Squad, but they won't get Oriental Amber, who wins it by 2. Mr. Bob second, being followed by Mod Squad, and then came Mackay Bluey. Charmed was further back,